It was a family of nails. No, it was a cathedral full of cats. So then they came out of the brushes running, and there's all this matter that has been transformed into a goo that gets onto their wormy skin and crawls all over. And finally, when it settles down, it dries up like a bunch of 3,000-year-old sand, and it just starts sucking all the water out of the body and everything, and everybody's just totally on the floor. They don't know what to do. So then all these elephants come out, and they're all asking the same question. They can't believe it either, except the jackal, who has been beheaded quite a while back, and before history, counting backwards all the way to Pliny the Elder, the jackal, not being able to understand what the elephants were saying, was not so much confused, but disinterested and uninformed about everything, which they are a lot of times. There's a lot of indifferent hyenas, too. I knew one that won an Academy Award for indifference. And then when he started shaking all the bushes and all of Australia started sinking into the ocean, which was about par for that golf course anyway, it was like a hole-in-one world. So I took my lawnmower out to the carnival grounds, and an entire galaxy fell into the Indian Ocean. But the king of North America thought that that was too much of punishment for a simple galactical heresy, so he brought all the stars back out, shined them up, and they had to use kerosene to light them back on fire again. And I shot them back out into the galaxy like cannonballs. And while all this is going on, my old friend Jimmy's out there in the backyard with his barbecue, and he's trying to find something to cook up. And Powell mentioned something about barbecued wildebeest, but it being out of season, and since I was in jail already for poaching in Africa, we figured that might be a bad idea. But I wasn't there. I had to write letters back and forth from prison, and by this time I had been transferred down into Australia, and in my last lifetime I had been sunk to the bottom of the ocean, now in a future incarnation being sent to live in the banana trees of escargot, a fate that anybody with a good fortune in the future should consider. It was a wonderful gallon of milk, and it didn't have too many worms in it. Upside down and topless like Ethel Merman, so Walter Cronkite pulled the trigger, and if it had been true that he'd been running a white slave trade service all up and down the eastern seaboard, throttled the carnations of Brillo, assumed the role of butler in an updated classic horror movie, went to bed with Mr. Ed Meese, and had tried to form a new way of lying that would even please the president himself, what else could we do but put him in an ice cream truck and freeze him?